Back this week, guys. Episode 6. I always look at you as my consultant because I don't know if it's always the right number.
I was honestly caught off guard. I was not expecting you to ask me.
Bad.
I just thought you would know.
No, don't make those assumptions like I know those things. Welcome this week, guys, to the Heaven's Demons podcast, officially episode 6.
Fuck, that's
I am Arturo.
I'm Adam.
And we got a guest this week, the one and only, the OG, I would say, of the group.
Daniel, the OG of the group.
Do you not see yourself as possibly that?
Not the OG, but definitely like the OG. If that makes sense. Like the old guy, yeah.
I wouldn't say old guy. I just think OG because it's like there's a lot of things that you've probably
been there. You've done that. You've seen it all. Wisdom.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. In that sense. Yeah.
Wisdom of source. You're the Gandalf Grey.
You're the Gandalf Grey of the group.
The old guy.
Hey, you'll be Gandalf White one day. Don't worry.
One day you'll be Gandalf the White.
Hey, you'll transition into that. Not like that, but transition to the next phase of your life.
All right.
Bro, you say Gandalf transitioned.
Did he not? You've seen Lord of the Rings, right?
I have.
Yeah.
Nah, bro, he just fucking went platinum. That's all he did.
Bro, he
went
was
platinum.
No, that's not platinum, bro. He went white.
He went platinum. White.
Platinum white.
Sure. Either way, he didn't transition. He just leveled up.
It's
like he ate a mushroom.
One would say that's a transition. That's just a different adjective. Verb. Fuck. Yeah, it's a
You
verb.
don't know which one it is,
No,
huh?
it's a verb. It's a verb. It's a verb.
All right. Hey.
We don't got to argue about this. Well, thank you, Daniel, for coming on this week. It's been a long time coming. As a viewer of the podcast, do you have any questions before we start?
Any first thoughts?
Yeah.
Initial things?
Thanks for having me, guys.
He's all, thanks.
I guess.
No, thanks for having me, guys. Definitely enjoy the podcast. Definitely funny. I'm expecting to laugh. I'm expecting.
Hey,
We're off to a great start.
Hey, we started with Gandalf transitioning, so I'm only curious to see where it's going to proceed.
If this is where we're at, there's only so many places we can go.
All right. I would say sometimes we start with, I guess, weekend recaps. I don't want to put it all on us. I want to do a weekend recap about you because you kind of had something cool going on this weekend with your future business.
You made an
partner.
announcement.
You did make an announcement.
Oh,
online.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it was pop-out season for you.
Yeah.
And not like that, folks.
Yeah, pop-out partnership season.
Yeah, that's actually that. I actually had that in my mind to talk about for sure. Definitely want to shout out my new business partner Matt,
AKA Papa Heads.
AKA Papa Heads. Great innovative thinker. Hustler. He has a couple businesses like I do, like just doing multiple things, stupid creative, and like just caring for people in the community. So I'm excited to build something new. We're gonna be doing a lot of things different, like changing our name, changing the look.
I was gonna say, you guys, you're gonna end up going with a certain name, or do you have a name already?
Yeah, we have a name already.
But you just want to finalize like name, logo, all that stuff.
We have all that ready too.
Oh, you're just ready when you want to
roll out.
We gotta roll it out, so people don't just get shocked. Like, what the heck is this?
Yeah, no, time is everything.
Yeah, so starting off with introducing, because it's been like a month now that Matt and I've been working together, maybe a little bit more.
Fairly new.
Yeah, but we're working on like figuring out the logistics of the partnership. And then figuring out, what's most suitable for both of us, like
that makes sense.
Most beneficial, and like just figuring out what we want to do.
Well,
we got big dreams.
I'm excited. Shout out Papa Heads. Shout out Matt.
Yeah.
Hey, decent bowler, I know, but
hey, he's a decent bowler. I guess I am too.
Another decent bowler over there.
I'm a great
Photoshop
guy.
Hey, that is a fucking weekend recap. We all did go bowling.
That's true.
Inaugural friend group. We don't have a name yet. I guess we're working on that too.
We'll work
Bowling
on
night.
We'll work on it.
Yeah,
It'll come naturally.
The name's terrible.
Huh?
The name's terrible. What did they call it?
Oh, you're talking about the name on the group chat?
Yeah.
I forgot, but it's nothing that we want
nothing.
to
Nothing you want to repeat.
Nothing.
Not out loud, not on camera.
Exactly.
We don't even want to repeat our names on our bowling lanes.
Oh yeah.
Well, you guys actually took yours serious.
Well, we didn't take it serious,
nah.
but we just did it. We pretty much did ours because it was, oddly enough, everybody that was in our group, everybody kind of has like their own business. So we.
What does everybody on the other side have?
No, you guys did too.
Yeah.
I was just like, oh, it's cool. Let's just do it by that. I was like, Papa Heads, Fiction Cam. Like we just.
Nah, we went straight like we're in high school with the names. It was, and who would have thought? Not
We had
me.
one guy from each side.
One guy from each side.
Y'all tied up. It's all good.
Mm. Yeah, Papa Heads and the Papa just going at it. It is what it is, man.
That was a
Hey,
cool second place.
that
But
was
it's all right.
fun.
It's all good.
you put some money on the table. I mean, y'all didn't pay me, but you put some money on the table. I'm a
Hey, bro,
compete.
we said the winner gets all the money. The sad thing is we had 2 winners, so I mean, technically you can't do it, you know?
I guess. It's
But-
tricky. It's tricky about friend competitions. The goalpost always moves.
Always.
Did you guys
It
see
never
the-
stays the same.
Did you guys see the picture I photoshopped?
You
You
photo.
photo- You photoshopped that photo?
Showing that I won.
Oh,
You motherfucker.
hey, bro. And then you had the audacity to tag our brand. I was gonna tell you, don't put no smut on our name like that.
Hey, we were respectfully first place and second place.
Yeah.
All right? I just want everybody to know that's not a competition, but if
It's
it was.
not a competition, but if it was, which it was,
Hey, but not really.
whatever. It was all fun, all in good fun.
It
Yeah.
was all good fun.
That was fun.
It was a fun weekend though. But yeah, no, I don't know why I thought about that. I was like, weekend recap. We were here and you guys were kind of doing work and stuff. I was like, it'd be a cool thing to bring up. I guess where do we want to kind of start with this? Do we want to? Because I say that because you do a lot of different things and you've done a lot of different things for a while. So I guess I kind of want to put it to you on what do you want to start with? Do you want to start with Canvas?
Or do you want to end with yourself?
We can.
Not on yourself.
I'm sorry, bro.
With yourself.
You could have phrased that a lot differently. You chose those words.
Hey, it is
we
what
can-
it is.
Yeah, we
Can't
can start
take it
off
back.
with Canvas.
Okay, I guess kind of talk about Canvas and kind of where it started because you've been doing it for a while, and to be honest, I don't know how you got. I know kind of your story and how you got into it, but I guess for like the public that don't know.
Yeah. So honestly, the first thing or first person that comes to mind is my friend Carolyn. Shout out to her.
Carolyn.
She's my friend's mom, who just would always like have faith in me. You know, like she'd always be like, "Oh, Daniel can do that. Oh, Daniel can do that." Like whatever issue came to mind, you know, like, "Oh, Daniel can do that." So it started off with like creating like a baby shower flyer or something like that, and then she was like, "Oh, Daniel can do that."
But did you always like? Did she see you like being creative or drawing a lot, or how'd she figure that you could do that?
Well,
Were you good
I
with
mean, in
technology?
general, like, oh,
Oh, fucking plumbing's out. Fucking
yeah,
Daniel's got it.
Daniel can do that. Yeah, no lie, she just always had that kind of faith in me. So I was
Mm.
always like, heck yeah, you know. So that was kind of like the origin of it, and then
Shout out women giving you
yeah,
confidence.
dude. Honestly, Carolyn, love you, appreciate you. And then the whole concept of the name was like, you know, based from this song by Blue. He says, "Every day is like a blank canvas, carving my initials on the planet like I brand it." It's like trying to take advantage.
Blue from Blue in Exile.
Yeah.
Just so y'all know.
Oh, I thought you
Yeah.
were talking about Blueface, but all right.
No. Don't know any of his lyrics. Oh yeah, I do. That's a lie.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say no. Trust me, nobody likes them, but they know his songs.
Yeah, so they came from there, like just, you know, having a canvas to offer, you know, people like to do whatever they want, you know, to really believe in themselves, to do like have a blank canvas, because I feel like a lot of people think that, you know, their past choices or decisions in life like kind of, you know, tainted their canvas, if you will, like, so it creates like limitations of what they can do. So I've always like thought that was like a good way to like encourage and inspire people to like no, this is something new. We just gotta give you a better
At what age was
perspective.
this that you kind of created or went with the idea?
Canvas was it's only been like 3 years.
Really?
It's only been 3 years
For
ago.
whatever reason, I thought it was been around since like 2014 or something.
Yeah, no, it's only been like maybe 3 to 4 years, maybe a little longer. I don't know, but it's relatively new. 2017.
4 years.
We're
Yeah.
on year 4, but yeah.
Yeah, I'm on 4th year. So, yeah,
You're a senior now.
yeah.
You're a senior.
Yeah, and honestly, it's not anything big. It's just the way I've always looked at it was, well, I did a lot of things to like keep it small in a sense. I never really wanted to be too big. I wanted to make sure that like the focus is on helping, like, you know, the dreamers, like not like the people that are already like, you know,
Established?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wanted to help people get established, and then, you know,
Like from
go
the jump,
there.
like-
yeah, from the jump.
Yeah.
Like really helping people figuring out, you know, like how to like decipher, you know, their creative passions, and then figuring out, you know, the steps to get there. So
That's good because you helped us with that, and I'm sure there's countless other people
Yeah.
Not that
Yeah,
you've
yeah. I'm
helped.
sure there's a few people that have the similar stories as us. Probably about you.
Didn't know our ass from our elbow. Just had an
yeah, no.
idea.
Yeah.
I could kind of guess, but not really. You know.
No, you didn't. You thought you did.
No, I thought I did. Went terribly.
But Canvas told you. It's right there.
Yeah.
That's your ass.
He's all, no, go ahead and draw it on the canvas.
No, go ahead and draw on the canvas, little buddy.
Yeah.
It's blank.
So that's always been like a thing, you know, like just to help people do that and figure that out. Yeah, I don't know.
Interesting.
It's been like the resources have changed, you know, since I started. Like I've been having more to offer. But what I've learned is like you know, all the screen printing stuff. It's like knowledge is like the most, like, you know,
Yeah.
knowledge. And like I learned even with you guys, like how to handle business, like, you know, like it's like that alone is something that like you have to learn. And then like once you learn it, you have to like, all right, tell people about it, like this is how you should go about it, you know, versus just
Yeah, I think that's a good thing because you've had Canvas and you had nonfiction. I would say we've been lucky that we've always been able to kind of bounce things off each other and kind of like spark more ideas, or just, I guess it's kind of just having introspective thoughts about what you want to present. And I think you being around us and stuff, and us being around you, it kind of helps because now it's like an extra person involved in the process.
Yeah.
Which kind of helps all parties involved because you have a different perspective than him. And we all have different perspectives on things. So I think it's kind of helped us along. And it's been very instrumental, I think, in our probably growth.
Yeah, I was telling Adam about it. Like I have like background in graffiti, and
Allegedly.
Statute of limitations, can't prove it. Don't say it.
And the approach.
But did you get up?
And I'm not saying he did it. I'm not going to say he ever did. But if he ever did, I heard some stories that he might have been a very good climber, and you'd be surprised on how high he can go.
Rock
So if that
climb.
answers how if he got it.
Continue before we rudely interrupted.
Yes.
About bragging about you.
What was I saying? So yeah, I used to graph. So my mindset when it comes to like this business of graphic design and all that stuff goes with the graffiti aspect of like, where when you create a logo for someone, you know, a lot of people aren't going to give you that kind of credit. Like, you know, like, oh yeah, like, you know, they focus more on the business and not who created the logo. Like, we don't know who created the Apple logo.
No. We just know of Apple.
We just know of Apple. But the people that know the person that created the Apple logo, like, know, you know, and they're proud of him. And that's kind of like how it is with graffiti. It's like, people don't know who you are. They just see dope pieces.
Or they see your name, and it's like, I remember having a conversation with one of our other friends that does graffiti, and it's like, a graffiti artist will always see like spots, like open areas, and you'll know, like, and you'll just look up and you'll see somebody already has that tag.
Yeah.
And like, you know where to look, like, because if you have the mind of a graffiti artist, you're like, oh, that'd be a dope spot.
Yeah.
And you know where to look for like names and where people got up, or if it's little like the little stencil pieces, you're like looking down at the ground, just like with that kind of mindset. And that's why I jokingly said, like, did you get up? Because that's what it is in graffiti, is like getting yourself out there.
Yeah.
Like, you can say you do graffiti, but are you just sketching in a book, or are you actually getting up?
Yeah. And so the approach when it comes to that is like, so like you want to create in graffiti, what matters, you know, is how often you get up, you know, the spots where you get up, and like the you know, your design, like, is it dope, you know, is your piece actually dope? And then also like the lifespan of it, the longer it lasts, you know. So it's the same thing with when it comes to like graphic design, like location is who you work with, you know, like certain businesses, like, you know, that can give you like business names, businesses, you know, that can give you that kind of credibility where it's like, dang, you got up there, like, how'd you get up there, you know, like that. And then the longevity is, you know, the success of your clients, you know, like, so like I put my foot into everything. Like, I really try to help people like succeed, and like you guys seen that, like, I want you guys to succeed, because like in the selfish aspect is like, that's my piece, and I want that piece to last.
It lasts a lifetime,
and that's based on your guys' success. So that's like the selfish perspective of it. And then what was the other one? Location, longevity, design, that's just, you know, personal, I guess.
But I don't think it's. I mean, yes, maybe it's a little selfish. I don't think it's egotistical or anything, because there is a way internally where you want them to be good for themselves more so than it is about you.
Oh yeah.
So at that point, like, I don't think it's too, like, I guess every decision you make is maybe a little selfish in some aspect if you want to look at it like that. But I think your general intentions with everybody isn't for. You don't see yourself in that. It's just
it's not a primary motivator, but it's there. It's the same thing of like when we design clothes. Like, yeah, I'm designing a shirt because that's something that I really like. I genuinely want to wear. But also, I want to see as many people wearing as I possibly can.
Yeah.
Because that shows that I'm successful. Like, and when it comes with what he's saying is like, yeah, like I'm making a dope logo for this business, but it's also a business that I believe in that is gonna be out there of like when people post Everbloom or Gabinos and people that he's worked with, that's gratification for him because it's like that's more people exposing my art, whether they know you directly did it or not.
Yeah,
it's like a personal thing of like I did that, and the success of them because it's a company that you're betting on as well. Like you could probably. I'll use the parallel with graffiti since that's what we're using. Like we all know graffiti artists that just get up, but they don't have good quality of what they're doing. They just got up a lot, and it's everywhere. Versus there's some crews and some artists that you would see, and like it's like you take a step back and you look at it because it's like that's beautiful. And when you kind of have that same approach with your graphic designing, is like I want people to not. It's more than just a logo. It's more than just a company's name. Like I want it to be to where people are going to want to put that sticker on their hydro flask, or they're going to want to wear that shirt, or they're going to want to post that thing.
Yeah.
So that there's so much other stuff. It's not primary, but it's there, and I think that's just a competitive thing.
Yeah.
Within us, as a creative.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's like that. Like you know, like we were saying, like not everybody's gonna know, but like the people that do know. Like that's all that matters.
Yeah.
You know, at the end of the day, it's like as long as your own people, you know, are proud of you and like, you know, happy for your success, like that's all that matters.
Yeah.
The respect from your peers.
Yeah.
More
like,
so than respect than what social media or anybody else.
Yeah.
Like, what does it matter?
Yeah, I don't care if like some random person, like I don't want to know every time someone says like, oh, like this is dope. You know, it's like no, I'm cool with just the people that I know saying it and knowing, and that's it.
I mean, that's a good perspective on things. I wish more people thought about things like that, but
it's a healthy perspective.
That's a healthy perspective.
It's a healthy perspective, and it's a perspective of being sure of yourself. Just being sure and secure enough with like you don't need like it. Not that it doesn't define you, but it's like it's just healthy, if that makes sense. Like you're not driven by it. Like you're not trying to like, it's not overpowering everything that you're doing.
Yeah.
So you went from canvas to nonfiction. Go ahead, plug all your shit, bro. Go ahead.
You do a lot. You do a lot.
Don't be bashful, bro. I'll start naming all the companies you work with if you're gonna be bashful on my podcast.
So,
I'm giving you a platform.
Yeah. So what happened was like because I myself feel like I have like you know like a message to like you know to share with people like I want to leave this earth like being known as the encourager or like the helper,
Daniel the
know?
Encourager.
Yeah, seriously, like I would want people to,
it's got a ring to it,
you know, to remember me in that sense.
Encourage him.
So when
Encourage him. In my house, I was like, finish him, but I was like, oh no, I can't really finish him. Dan doesn't want anybody to die.
Hey, that one was a slow burner right there.
You saw the moment where you thought you read it in your head, y'all. Okay.
Okay, go.
I'm sorry, folks. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do that. It just happens sometimes.
So with like Canvas, I was like constant, and you'll see it too if you guys follow me on Instagram. Like, I'll put too much like personal like inspiration or like just too much personal like passion into it, and it's like okay, this is where I created like this shirt and I put a message on it, and then people were digging it. And I was like, all right, cool, but this is a business, you know, like maybe I should create a brand that I could be more specific to like my message. And that's kind of where nonfiction came from, like that. Now, nonfiction, I had the name for like a long, like I think I was like 19 when I used to like write poems and stuff. And that would be like my signature at the end, you know, like saying like, you know, what I'm writing is true. And And I just didn't know what I was gonna do with it. I was thinking I was gonna do a blog with it. I thought I was gonna do like a magazine or something like that.
Tumblr?
Yeah, because it's called nonfiction, you know.
Yeah.
So I was like, maybe I can do more writing, especially because that was what I was doing then. But
I think you still could if you wanted to. I think the name's so versatile that you could kind of go anywhere with it.
yeah,
I
that's
think that's the beauty of the kind of the name of your brand.
The
what it stands
name
for.
is the game.
yeah.
That is true.
Supply code. That was like the one thing where I was like, if I plug this in, that means I can give you anything. It
Yeah,
doesn't
because you
just have
don't
to
know what
be-
it is.
Yeah, if I put nonfiction clothing store, then that's too general,
Yeah.
to like what I have to offer.
Nonfiction encouragement.
Nonfiction poems,
But yeah, exactly. So
nonfiction
like,
blogs.
nonfiction supply code is like, I'm gonna supply you with the truth, the whole truth,
And
and
nothing but the
nothing
truth. So help me
So
God.
help me God. So help
Yeah.
me Daniel.
I would say like my introduction to you was through nonfiction, I believe, because we have a mutual friend, Roger. Shout out Roger. Shout out Currents.
Shout out.
And he did a photo shoot for you at a basketball court
Mm-hmm.
2 years ago.
Yeah.
2 years ago, I believe. And I remember he tagged, and then my introduction to you was going to the Instagram page, seeing the layout, going to the website, seeing the layout. And I was like, I like how everything's shot, put together. It's very crisp, clean.
Mm-hmm.
That was my introduction to you. And then you working with Fernie with Renaissance Barbershop and doing the graphic design with him. And I remember getting a haircut and him just telling me about the process. And like from there, that's when we went to go get shirts. Like went with them to go get shirts that he was dropping off to you. And I had just heard about you from them. And then going to Everbloom and then them saying like, oh yeah, Daniel did our logo for the cart. And then he's like, oh yeah, and then he also did our homie out in Palm Springs, Gabino's, their logo. And I'm like, okay, all right. So seeing like how kind of like the references of your work before actually even meeting you and interacting with you, that was one thing that stood out to me. It's like, because I had the idea since high school, started brand, and then people that I have respect for work with you, and like Roger saying, like that you taught him how to screen print and like kind of how to work with Photoshop and Adobe Illustrator. I was like, that goes a long way with me, because obviously you've done good work with them and they respect you enough to like still continue to work with you.
Yeah.
And you respect them, and like likewise. So it's like
it's that social currency. Yeah.
Yeah, that's important. I think you're a Leo too, right?
yeah.
So you read that little thing that Ari gave us?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, dude.
Yeah.
And
Shout
one
out
thing,
Ari.
shout out Ari. Like one thing it said there was like how we us Leos that have the same. I guess you and I are the same.
Prideful.
It's, I mean,
Toxic.
We
whatever it
take
is.
pride in being Leos. No, I'm kidding.
I take pride in being myself. I'm not going to
I'm the
associate
same
it
way.
with the sign or anything. I don't want anybody to read too much into it.
But that's a Leo thing to say.
That's a Leo thing to say.
Hey, bro, they didn't know that until you said it. Fuck, it's like I'm talking to the mirror.
But yeah, how we find a lot of like value, or we rely a lot on like what people think of us, like our reputation, if you will.
Yeah.
Not so much what people think, but our reputation.
Yeah, I agree with that. But as I gotten older, it's more of what the people closest to me that I care about think of me.
Yeah.
Because to be honest, nowadays, if somebody thought something of me,
Oh yeah.
I could give two fucks.
You have to value their opinion.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like I don't even. Well, no disrespect. Sometimes not everybody even deserves an opinion. That's fucked up to say, but it's true. And when I hear things, it's like, all right, whatever, that's fine. I only care about like my immediate friends and family. Like that's what I care about. But
Yeah.
I agree with that. When
No.
I was younger, I 100% thought that.
Well, I agree with you too. That's what we stated earlier.
Oh my god!
You know?
Oh my God.
Surprise!
Cover me shocked.
And I agree with you agreeing with him.
And hear me out. I'm not
And hear me
even
out.
Leo.
And I'm not a Leo. Come on.
Oh, your birthday's coming up.
Yeah, it is. I'm a Leo moon though. Whatever.
Hey, shout out Geminis.
Yeah, shout out.
A lot of, hey,
Geminis.
a lot of great Geminis. By the way, shout out Kanye. It's his
Yeah,
birthday.
dude. What? 4 of our closest friends are Geminis.
Yeah.
All born around like the fucking 2-week period.
Yeah. I mean, there's a clear distinction between May Geminis and June Geminis, because the May Geminis
saw-
set up that whole birthday.
We saw that. It was as clear as. I don't want to talk. We're not doing that weekend recap.
No, not that we can recap. But there's
what
a
I'm
clear
saying is,
distinction.
we saw it. We saw the whole picture this week, and I was like, okay, these are the June Geminis. and this is how the party's going for them, and this is the main Geminis, and this is. I was like, all right, cool. There's
It
something
is
in
what
the
it
water.
is, bro. Shout out to him.
Yeah.
Hey, shout out Panchi.
Yeah, shout out Pancho, dude. That homie.
Great
Love
party.
that guy. Love that guy. But yeah, what you
But
were
back to your
saying,
saying,
yeah, the reputation, like, you know, like that was big. It's I honestly look back at that too, like how we all kind of like, I know you guys talked about it when EJ was here, or no, that was EJ. EJ said something about that, how like we just all came together from like different.
Yeah, I think
parts.
it's when
We
him
talked
and
about it in the
Matt-
group chat.
I thought it was during the
Oh, I
podcast.
think it
when-
was in the podcast.
We
When
talked
it was
about it on the
EJ and Matt,
podcast with
yeah.
with them, and then I did because I brought up the group chat conversation about how we were all in the same place at the same time, and
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's crazy. That's really crazy to me.
Mhm.
I like it though. But yeah. I don't know what you were saying with that. Oh yeah. That's how you discovered me through nonfiction instead of Canvas.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's kind of nonfiction I use kind of like, obviously it is my brand, but I use it more like, this is kind of like, if you want to see what I can do when I'm like crazy passionate about it, this is what I have to offer. You know, this is me with no, you know, input of like anybody else. Cause like when you work for someone, I had to learn this coming up, was like, this is like Heaven's Demons. I had to learn with you guys too. Is like, I have to disconnect. Like, this isn't mine. As much as, because I was telling you guys with the design aspect and all that, like I want to take ownership of it, but it's like, no, it's not mine. So it's like,
But there is something good about your inputs because you know the capabilities of things. Like us coming from not knowing the industry at all, it's like we think anything is possible, which is good to some extent. But there is, that's why it's good to know kind of like the backstage and like the off-screen work that we will never even guess.
yeah.
So it kind of goes both ways.
Yeah, and there's certain customers, like, I had learned, like, who to input that information and who not. There's some customers, like I just have to do what I'm told because I know, like, they're not looking for that, you know? But if you're looking for it, then, yeah, I have to offer it.
Yeah.
I'll give it to you. But, yeah.
Not only just the encouragement, but the knowledge.
Yeah, the knowledge. So that's what nonfiction was to me. It was more like personal hobby and also my passion and also like a good example of like my work, you know, and how I go about it. And because like you guys seen how I work with nonfiction. It's like I come up with an idea and next day I'm ready to go.
Yeah, remarkably fast.
Yeah, I don't want to sit on it too long. I like to just get it done. And it's because I have all the tools, but also because that's just the way I work.
And you're also by yourself too, so it's kind of like you have all the tools necessary. It's just you, so it's like,
so lonely.
hey, it's whatever works best for you. It's whatever
He's
works
all
best
like,
for you.
you're by yourself.
You're all alone over there. You fucking lonely loser. But yeah, it's like, why not?
Yeah.
Like if I was doing this all by myself, I would be doing the same thing because I come up with designs and
kick me out?
concept. Huh?
Trying to kick me out?
You're,
No.
you're
That's
what it sounds like.
You're his crutch. You're holding him
Nah,
back.
not a.
I get it. I should. I knew the day was gonna come. Back.
It's gonna
Hey, y'all
come.
saw it here live.
Do you want me to encourage you to kick him out?
No, I encourage him to stay.
Hey, you know what?
Encourage him to stay.
Rap. This podcast is over. I see where they're going with this.
But yeah, like I would be doing the same thing, but then you kind of got to take that step back and realize like, oh, I should slow it down just a bit because I can see what I'm doing.
Yeah.
But I need to walk everybody with me to kind of understand what I'm doing. And the importance of taking that step back, and he's not inside my head of knowing exactly why I chose these colors, why I chose that design, what the concept means. So if I'm having to explain to him, then I realize like, okay, I'm gonna have to also explain to the customer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like it's that thing, and then for you, it's like I can do all the screen printing myself. I could do all the orders myself. I do this. I just need to find somebody to shoot and go. Which to me, not that I wish I could do that, but if it was up to me, I would just crank it out anytime I feel like making a new shirt.
Yeah.
I would just crank it out. But then it's like, oh no, like sometimes I gotta slow it down just a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't want to dilute the process either.
No.
Hey, fuck, you lost my train of thought when we talked about Despot. No, I guess more of your creative process because do you find do you find it hard balancing, because you can do so much for others in terms of like screen printing and what Canvas offers with designing and helping like other companies? Like, do you ever have to find that balance of like, fuck, I'm giving too much to everybody else and not myself? Like, do you ever find yourself having to kind of pull back a little bit?
No, because most people, like I'm working with this girl right now, and I keep sending her designs, and she's saying it's very masculine. You know, and
That's interesting. That's
and yeah, and I've been working on this like nonstop. It's been on my mind, and I think it's because it's like a challenge, you know, like trying to accomplish it, you know, trying to execute it. And you've seen how I am, like
you're trying to make it not masculine,
yeah, like masculine? I guess what he's saying is like, what's a feminine design then?
Oh,
not even the feminine aspect of it. It's more of understanding, like trying to understand what my client wants.
Oh, okay.
So it's so that challenge comes from like, I guess, communication, you know, like trying to decipher, you know, and yeah, trying to decipher your thoughts and ideas. And that's where like the counseling aspect kicks in, you know, where it's like I want to feel what you feel, you know. I want to know
like what, like you want to know the exact inspiration of what got you to this point.
Yeah, and that's asking the right questions, you know, like breaking down that whole thing.
You have to also be comfortable with them too.
Yeah.
And likewise, they have to be comfortable with you to be able to explain into detail where it came from, where it derives.
Yeah. And know what they want.
That too, that's hard.
This one guy asked me once, like, so I designed his logo for him, and then I texted him, and you know, and then he's like, bro, like, you didn't tell me you were gonna charge me this much, and and it was like lack of communication on my end, because you know, I should have sent him or gave him the price before. But anyways, he says.
True, but if you I can't give him a pass, because if you value somebody and what they're doing for you, then you should know that it comes with the price. Not that it has to come with the price, but be cognizant enough to where respect them enough and what they do to, at least maybe if not financially, some way to pay back.
But yeah, agreed. But so with this guy, what he said after that was, I gave you all the ideas, you just put it together. You know?
All right.
No, well, that's the thing though. Like, that's what I do.
Yeah.
Like, I'm taking your ideas, so they're not necessarily mine, but what I'm creating is, it's that deciphering. Like, so another thing I did was I used to tattoo, and what happens with tattoo artists is like, you'll have people like coming in where they're like, oh, you know, like, so my grandma just passed away and her favorite color is blue. You know, she loves unicorns and she's from Florida and she was born in 1988. Like, all this stuff, and she's like, and I want a tattoo, you know, in memory of her on my knuckle. And it's like,
how the fuck do I get all that on your knuckle?
Exactly. So you gave me all the information, but I still have to create something, you know, to give you that feel.
Yeah.
That sense of, I understood you and I created something out of it. So that's how the creativity of that comes from. So like, your guys' ideas, like when I help you guys, I can't say like, oh yeah, that's my idea. You know, it's like, no, I just created something from
Put the pen to paper.
I put the pen to paper. That's it.
Which is just as valuable, though.
It is, definitely. But I'm saying more like, so with the original question was,
it's like, how do you find the balance? Like, do you find yourself having to pull back sometimes because of all that you do and help other people out? So
I don't necessarily feel like I'm giving away too much, because it's technically yours. You know?
Yeah.
It's yours to begin with, and then I'm just kind of using my tools or whatever to accomplish that. But there is certain ideas that I do have in mind, and I always try, like, when they come to mind, I think about like, who does this idea fit better, you know? Like I think we were talking about it, like, okay, like, not everybody's supposed to pursue like an idea, you know, like okay, like, let's say I have the idea of making like we talked about it a while back, like making a coffee, like a weird coffee, like, let's say a berry red coffee.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean I have to go open up a coffee shop just to offer this drink. Like, I can share this thought about this drink to someone who's already established.
Yeah.
That's capable of executing it and bringing it to life. And that's kind of like, maybe we shouldn't be so like greedy with our thoughts and ideas, and figuring out, you know, who can execute it and make it come to life. Because to me, I think sometimes the idea is more important than like who it belongs to.
Yeah.
You know, like
That's a very unselfish thing to think, though.
well,
Like
yeah,
that's a very healthy mindset.
I think it's if you look at it more like if you value the idea as something that will benefit, you know, the community.
Yeah, if you really
the
believe in that
world.
idea,
if you really believe in
yeah.
that idea, then
I
it's
get
gonna
that.
be in that sense. Like I was just telling Fernie yesterday, I was like, why don't they make chicken like chicken nuggets, the frozen ones, and chicken and fish
sticks?
No, cheese sticks and chicken nuggets together, and make
Like-
Parmesan chicken, like Tyson, and then you just dip it in marinara sauce, like microwavable or oven.
Mm-hmm.
Like like obviously I'm not gonna go
Tyson,
create.
you heard it here first. Don't you dare take this idea. Our 50 million viewers will get your ass.
But you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
like we're not supposed to do that. So that's how my process goes. And there is certain ideas where, I'll hold on to them because I think they're, fitting for me. Again, it's just, but it comes because I think I'll be best at executing it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's an unselfish way to think about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's how I look at it.
Very healthy mindset, I will say.
Yeah.
I will say, because that's
But okay, did you always think that way, or did you have to learn to adopt that mentality?
I think it was learning how to get there, because before my thought process was I just like back to Carolyn, like, oh, Daniel can do it, like I could do it all.
Yeah.
Like I had to eliminate that, like, no, like you can't do it all, Daniel, like you have to partner up with someone like Matt to give you a hand.
Shout out Matt.
Help reach out to your homies, like you can't do it all by yourself, so,
Can and should are two
Yeah.
There you
like
go.
honest
True.
questions you have to have with yourself. Like, you can, but should you do it?
Yeah.
Probably not, because are you gonna put out the best quality? There's
Yeah.
no way you could do all of it at the best of your ability.
Like, not to bring it back to Leo thing, but I was 100% that way, and he had to tell me multiple times, and not just because you can and you think you should, or just because you can, you're capable of, doesn't mean you have to. Because at some point you're gonna put too much on your plate.
Yeah.
And then that kind of messes things up for what they are.
Exactly. We were talking about it the other day about
Yeah.
the book Essentialism, like knowing your boundaries, like knowing when to say no.
Yeah.
And, so knowing your limitations.
Do you find yourself saying no more now?
Oh yeah. I
Yeah.
love no. I love no.
Daniel, can we just spend more time? Nah, I
Nah.
can't do it.
Nah.
It's not me.
It's
When
not
I was
me.
the
I'm
reason
giving
It's
too
not
much
me.
up myself.
what was funny was like that's the reason why I didn't succeed in tattoos, because I would just tell people no. But that's because I legit didn't want to tattoo like.
That's also something very permanent. So
yeah.
good for you.
exactly. Yeah. I didn't like.
Held responsible for tattooing
God.
this blue unicorn from Florida that was born in 1988.
on a fucking knuckle.
Yeah,
Nah.
Nah.
Nah,
Nah,
we
I'm
ain't
good.
doing
that's
this.
it's a no from me, dog. But good luck to the artist that does it.
Good luck to you and any future fucking
Good luck to you
unicorns.
and your grandma, I guess.
And obviously, like in those situations, it's hard to say no. Like that's a good
Yeah.
example of like
Mhm.
how saying no can be like hard,
Yeah.
Yeah,
But-
I mean,
But you just know sometimes like rush orders.
yeah,
Rush orders, I'll be like, no, I'm sorry, we can't do that, because that means I'm gonna have to push someone's order back, or I'm gonna have to rush someone's order as well, and it's just gonna make your product is gonna come out as great because I won't be able to give it that attention to detail.
Yeah.
mhm.
So, in that sense, yeah, I'd rather say no.
That's good. That's good.
It's good.
You heard it here, folks.
You heard it here.
Daniel say fucking no to you.
He's gonna say
No.
no. He's gonna enjoy it.
No means no.
Hey, always.
No.
Jarvis? Fucking no, dude. Shout out Jarvis. I know he's gonna listen to this later.
No, don't.
Yeah, I'm on, I know exactly where you're going. No. Daniel, no, we're not going that route.
No.
Hey, moving along.
Moving along.
Going on to future events. There was a thing, I guess, in pop culture that we did kind of see today. First of all, we already said it. Fucking shout out Kanye. It's his birthday, but he officially kind of promoted his first drop with Gap.
Mm-hmm. The Yeezy.
Yeah.
Yeezy with Gap collab. What did we say? It drops the 27th or something like that.
I think it's the 25th.
25th. Either way, teased a couple pieces from that collection. I will say this: I'm not gonna be first in line to buy said jacket that I saw.
It's a $200 jacket, and it's already sold out.
It's already sold out.
Already sold out.
I told you who was gonna love it.
Yeah. But and
told
by the
you.
way, Daniel hasn't seen this at all, and
Yeah.
you love Kanye. He's one of your biggest inspirations. Am I right?
Yeah, creatively.
Creatively, I want to show you what's sold out, so we get your live reaction. That's it right there. Now, be honest. You're a nice guy, but I need your honest critique or honest praise.
Reminds me of Silly Putty. You know, like a Silly Putty jacket.
It looks like a soggy Montclair jacket.
Yeah, it looks wet. Is it water?
Is it water?
For the price, it better be water resistant. I'll say that much.
Yeah, no. So, yeah, I don't like it. But so like with Kanye, you know, the reason why he's my inspo is because he always pushes. You know, I don't really like what he puts out other than his music, but just the concept of like I thought of it, I'm gonna do it.
Yeah, you could
know?
appreciate it, but do you ever feel sometimes people just do things just to be different, and sometimes that's not the most authentic and organic way to do things?
But what if it's true to them to be different?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess.
It's weird. Like, okay, so before I came here, I asked Fernie, I was like, should I wear a red hat or a blue hat? And he said red, and I'm like, blue it is.
No, bro. Honest to God, I have an uncle like that, bro.
Contrarian.
No matter what team the family's rooting for, he picks the opposing team. He's been like that since he was, I guess, a kid. I didn't know him back then, obviously, but he's always like that, and that's just you're a natural born contrarian.
Yeah.
No matter what, when people go right, you go left, and honestly, with Kanye, that's on brand for him to do stuff that nobody else is doing. Like,
Yeah.
And but also at the same time, what other rapper's gonna work with Gap? First of all, but second of all, that's full circle for him because if you know his story, the first department store he worked in was Gap, and that's a full circle thing for him and how he speaks. He's big on his beliefs, and he dreamt about working for like being the creative director for like Louis Vuitton and like all this stuff, but his life path directed him to Gap where he started, and it's something that some people could look at it like, oh, he's just trying to be different. Yeah, but that's just him. He likes to be different. He doesn't want to be like everybody else. Does that mean you're gonna love everything he comes out with? No, but I mean, shit, you were wearing some shoes the other day that look like that were inspired by the Yeezy shoes. Right or wrong?
Were inspired by them.
Are you sure? Can you prove that?
Yeah.
I thought Yeezy made those.
Check out the production date.
I would say I thought
it's like Crocs.
Those white ones you have like
those Croc, Morel, and then the Yeezy.
Yeah, but those aren't Yeezys.
Yeah, they're Morels.
Oh, okay. I was like, they look very similar.
Yeah.
Either way.
Yeah.
So what came first?
Crocs, I think Morels, and then Ultra Boost.
Okay.
Either way. Yeah. Nobody else.
I don't know this for sure. Don't quote me on that.
I don't know.
That might be fiction coming from non-fiction.
Hey, you know what? That's about 80% true. We don't know.
Yeah, but I mean, it's also another thing to separate art from artist. But yeah, when it comes to Kanye, like I already knew when I saw the jacket, I didn't like it, but I already knew it was gonna sell out. It was gonna do numbers. I already knew right off the rip. It's almost like the Elon effect.
Yeah.
Like whatever coin Elon backs or doesn't back, you'll see a shift.
Yeah.
Like Kanye just has a his thumb on the culture, and I'm a huge Kanye fan. You are as well. Like seeing his imprint on, I think they call it the Horsemen, but like Virgil, Jerry Lorenzo, Don C, all these other people that are prominent in culture come from him. His tutelage, his teaching. So it's like, yeah, he's very much gonna sell out. There's gonna be people that buy it just off the strength of Kanye, off of Yeezy,
off his name.
Off his name. And you were saying like you only liked his music. I love his music, but then when I saw like his Yeezus merch, that's when I was like, oh, he really can do fashion, because I loved it. To me, that was more than just that. It was reminiscent of like, and I'm pretty sure this was the inspiration because that was when Jerry Lorenzo was there working with them. Was like band tee
Yeah.
focus. It looked like it was like 90s, 80s rock band tees.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
One thing I learned from Kanye is think of it, do it. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. You know, the what makes it work is the people. Like, I think the reason why it's sold out isn't because it's dope. It's because it has the hype, like the thumbprint.
Yeah.
And maybe one day it'll look cool. But right now, it doesn't look cool to us, right? But eventually, maybe one day, it'll look cool.
It is a futuristic looking jacket. Like, I could see somebody in the future wearing that.
Because I remember when all the brown tones and all that stuff was coming out, they were talking about like, oh, it looks like Star Wars and stuff like that. You know, when it first started, the long tees, yeah. And then people started rocking it, and then you saw like the inspo coming from there, and it's like, okay, cool, like, you know. So that's what I'm saying. Like, we might, you know, step into that. We're just not there yet. You know. But you see, we also live in the desert, so none of us own even a jacket that puffy.
Yeah,
no, I
remember I had my other uncle. He's my mentor, and he told me you should make one of those puffer jackets like a Montclair. And I'm like, I could, but it's not that cold. Nobody would buy it here. I would love to design one and make one, but it's not feasible.
Yeah.
And with fashion, I had a conversation with Arturo literally last week about high fashion companies design for the next year. They don't design for right now. So it's like, that's how it is for Gap, is for Kanye. It's like, you got to predict where things are going to be. Either you're predicting where it's going to be, or you set the tone of where it's going to be. So it's like, for him, some people are going to fall in love with it. Some people are going to be skeptical about it. And then in that year, when it comes to people actually wearing it, and you see how many people are wearing it and how people piece it together, and how people, you know, who's wearing it, and people can be influenced and swayed. Their opinion can always change. Like, you could go back and listen to music and fashion, I think, are very synonymous. You go back and listen to the Yeezus album today, and you probably like more songs than you did when you first heard it. You could go back and look at Yeezy Collection 1, and you're like, oh, there's some stuff in there that I actually would wear now.
Yeah. And then there's the other aspect of it, like the styling. You know, it maybe by itself it doesn't look dope, but then you piece it together, you put it on the right person,
somebody that knows how to dress.
I'll say this: if I was in New York, you can absolutely find a way to make that look good. I'll say that, but it's just because where we're from, it's like there's no way. Well, obviously I can't layer this, like, dude, I'd fucking die of heat exhaustion. But over there where it's cold enough, like, this is something like you could absolutely wear on the slopes. If you're in Europe where it's fucking cold enough up in the mountains, there you go. Like, there's ways to make this look good. I guess sometimes, and I'm victim of this myself, I'll look at something and be like, just because I can't see myself wearing it doesn't mean other people can't see themselves wearing it. So that's kind of my own way that I know I fuck up in my thinking. But later on, it takes me a while to be like, you know what? No, there's a way to make that look good. Whether it's not with myself, it doesn't have my physique, I can't fit in it, somebody else can make that look good.
I learned, like, I wouldn't consider myself too, like, into fashion. Like, I don't like jewelry. I don't like dressing up. All that stuff, I don't really like it. My inspo comes from liking fashion, like, you know, and then learning, like what you said, like how designers, like my friend Jeremy, shout out Jeremy, he taught me, like, he would read GQ magazines and like study them and like fold pages, and like he would be up to date, like, on stuff. Like, he would rock stuff that people weren't wearing, you know, and it was because he was reading, like, this is what they're wearing in the UK, and then he'll bring it, and then it's like, oh snaps, you know. So he taught me like to do homework, you know, of like the future of, like, you know, future designs, like, and stuff like that. And that's the other thing that I was gonna say about Kanye. Like Kanye, with a lot of his first collection or overall collections, it's like he's seeing something great and then just plugging it into his name, his brand, and then making it succeed, you know. Like, at the end of the day, you know, right? I think you were telling me who the designer was for the first Yeezy collection. It wasn't Kanye.
I didn't say that. I don't know.
Oh, you didn't say that? It was some girl. And then he just kind of like said, hey, I want to put my name on this. And then he, you know, did his thing and then made it what it is today. But it's that. It's like, okay, I'm in a position of making something great. You know, so it's like, let me get your idea. You're gonna get some credit for it. Yeah. But I can do wonders with this.
Take it to the next level.
Take it to the next level.
Yeah.
And it's just because of his name.
his name, his flair, how he presents things.
Yeah.
Because even then, presentation goes the longest way too. Like when I see promos and rollouts, I'm all. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not good, and sometimes I feel like, oh, like if they did this and maybe this way, I could see it popping a lot more.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a really crucial thing that I don't think a lot of people think about.
Yeah, obviously you guys know like Jerry, the way he rolls his things out, the way he's always like hit it for me.
Mm-hmm.
From like the video in his house, like
Mm-hmm.
you know the horse video with what's his name, Jared Leto,
Mm-hmm.
the closet shoot, like all of them were like crazy dope, and
Mhm.
it's that execution. So like
Goes a long way.
It goes a long way. You also have to have a team. Like what you were describing of like how, you know, somebody else. I wish we knew the woman's name. She designed Yeezy Collection 1, and he kind of put a stamp to it. That's kind of how it is in life, though. Is like everything's a collective thing. When you're on that grand of a scale, there's a reason there's board meetings. There's a reason you have a panel. There's a reason you have that, because it could be somebody's idea, and we've seen in movies and in shows of like people in meeting rooms like, okay, who's got an idea? Who's got it? Like, come up with something. How we're gonna market this? Who's got somebody spit it out?
Yeah.
And like you throw stuff at the wall, see what sticks. And you go from there. Like I've seen behind the scenes videos. I'm not a reader, like how you're alluding to, Jeremy, of like reading GQ magazine. I would always look to see just what people were wearing, but I like watching and seeing how the process is done, listening to interviews, listening to what people talk about, and seeing like, you know, behind the scenes of even runway shoots and runway shows and photo shoots and stuff like that. Of it's a real collective. Everybody has a job. There's no wasted person there.
Yeah.
And even though like one person signs their name at the end of it and they get the initial credit, there's people that come from that. I know Cactus Plant Flea Market, the woman that designs that, she used to work with Pharrell, and now she's gone on her own, and you can see the certain smiley face and you know it's CPFM. There's certain style like Kid Cudi's merch, CPFM, and it's just it takes that time. What most people don't understand is you have understudies that eventually go on to do their own thing.
Yeah.
Nobody just starts off great.
Yeah.
Like Kanye had to learn music from working with Jay-Z and Cameron at it just happens that way.
Yeah.
Nobody comes running straight out the gate.
Yeah.
But there also needs to be a person that, you know, runs through that brick wall and does that. So another missing element from what you guys are saying too is it takes that cosign a lot of times to make it hot.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't even have to necessarily be the best idea, the best design. Like we could all name what I'm talking about right now. You're probably thinking of something, a brand or whoever. You're like, I mean, that's not all that great. But then you also
Even
can
a
think,
song.
and
You've heard certain songs that just because it has a Drake cosign, it's like,
and it's not that great. Like, but it is because of who attached their name to it. The whole bad boy movement, because you're a hip hop head. If Diddy wasn't there orchestrating that whole thing, none of those artists would have blown up to be who they were.
Yeah.
They were all been great rappers, but you can make a great song, but who's gonna make it to where it's like here?
Yeah.
And you need that production aspect, that producer, that cosign, that evil genius to go ahead and. I always think, whenever I think of Diddy, I think of that video of like him wearing the Von Dutch shirt and like closing the deal and said, whatever you do, whatever you can't do, I could do it. Give it to me. Give me more. I could get it done. I could do anything.
So he slams the phone?
Yeah, he slams the phone.
In
Yeah.
his office,
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. I think too, like, just how you were saying, like, everybody has a role, you know, like I become the kind of person who likes to. Well, okay, so backstory is I went to school for a bunch of stuff, didn't choose any of it, but at the end of the day, I wanted to be a counselor, to help people get to where they want to be. But I don't know if you guys remember your school counselors.
Vaguely.
Thinking of one right now.
And I don't know.
Thinking of one right now.
I'm sure.
Actually, very well.
I'm sure there's you guys know, like, people that have been like have reached different levels of success that don't look back and be like, you know, I wouldn't have made it this far if it wasn't for so and so.
Somebody's guidance.
Yeah. So I've always wanted to be the person at the bottom of the ladder, like holding the ladder for someone else to get to the top. You know, so that's my aspect when it comes to like design and stuff like that and whatever. But also, so when I see someone like Kanye and all the people that are under him holding the ladder.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like it's not just Kanye up there. Like
No.
there's a whole tree of people that he's bringing along.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that's like if you want to kick Arturo out, I'll take him.
Never said that once.
He's not putting words in my mouth. Fucking Leos.
Fucking Leos, bro.
We can
Never
start-
said that once. Never even alluded to it. never a hint.
Leo's
Never
screen
anything.
printing.
I'll
Leo-
fight
Leo.
you to the death.
Hey, Leo screen printing. We'll just have a fucking line right
Yeah. Where do we get things done? Maybe.
Fuck, I don't know.
Do we get things done? Maybe.
No, but it's because it's like understanding, like I was telling you guys, like, well, I don't know, on the last, I don't know, but okay, Omar does all
Yeah.
my photo stuff.
Yeah.
I have an eye for, you know, shots and stuff like that, but I don't know what to do with the camera.
You know your
level.
limitations.
He's
I know
next
my
levels with it.
limitations. Yeah, and I think that's where it's like, okay, you gotta know, like, and that's what I'm saying. That's what Kanye did with a lot of people. It's like, okay, you have something great in you. You have something great in you. Now let's make something great together.
That's a talent in itself.
Yeah.
To
Like,
spot.
Yeah,
Acknowledge.
a lot of the best CEOs are like that. They're not always the best tech guy, the best fucking finance, none of those things. But they're smart enough to where they know where to delegate all that work.
That's
Yeah.
the importance of a leader.
Yeah.
yeah.
And one thing that people don't understand that, you know, those great CEOs, those great leaders understand is not to have a crab in a bucket mentality. If you're not familiar, it's the crabs can get out of the bucket if they choose to get out of the bucket, but anytime one of them gets to the top, another one brings it down.
Yeah.
Instead of collaborating together to all get out of the bucket.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So with what I'm saying is with those great CEOs, it's like, look, we're all gonna work together here. You do. I'm not asking you to do everything, but if you're the great logo designer, design the fuck out of a logo. You're a good marketer, you're gonna market the fuck out of this, and then I'm gonna be the face of it. And I'm gonna use my power, my social equity to push this forward. And eventually, all this hard work we're doing now is gonna make you guys in turn bosses to whatever you guys decide to do.
Yeah.
Leaving from this, and you're gonna take the
Or-
knowledge and experience that you got here.
Or if you
to
guys
the
grow
next
together,
spot. Yeah.
you guys grow together, you're going to be the head at. You're
Yeah.
the best marketer. You're going to be the head of marketing, and who knows, you might be able to consult for somebody else.
Yeah,
and
and
that's
start your own
gonna make-
marketing company, maybe.
That too. You could be your own.
You're
Consultant.
holding one day you're holding the ladder, the next day you're climbing the ladder.
Yeah.
It is what it is because there's going to be another person coming up under you to hold that
Exactly.
ladder.
Yeah.
And right now, and I would say today it's hard because we live in a microwave society of no, I want instant gratification. I need it now. I don't want to put the work in. I just want this. And it's like, but you also have to, you know, take a step back and understand like, no, there's still got to be work put in to get here. You're
Yeah.
not just nothing's entitled here. You gotta
Nothing's given.
you have to earn your stripes.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. I concur.
You concur.
I forgot what I said, huh?
You have to earn your stripes.
Oh yeah, okay.
Shout out Adidas.
Well, that's actually like it's an interesting topic for me when it comes to like earning your stripes or like because we talked about it last time. Like it's kind of like giving game. You know, it's like do we just give it?
If they're
do we-
serious
or
about
do we
it,
let
if
them
they're
earn it?
passionate.
Do we
I
let them earn
come
it?
I come from this because it was I have conversations with people that had more knowledge than me that are in better positions and I'm like fuck if only I would have known, right? Like whether it be financial literacy, whether that be, you know, applications for schools, if I would have known, you know, certain things, if I would have just known, I'd probably be farther along. So I kind of told myself, if I have knowledge, I'm going to share it. Because at the end of the day, I could tell you, like, you could lead a fish, you could lead a person to water, but you can't make them drink.
Yeah.
It is what it is. You can tell somebody exactly, like the other episode that we did, and he literally step by step showed how to get an LLC. Now, it's up to that person whether they're going to do it or not.
Yeah.
You could tell somebody step by step how to screen print. You could demonstrate it, and then you give them the fucking squeegee and the ink
Here you
and
go.
say, "Go ahead."
There you
Yeah.
go. You
Are
know
they going to
forever.
do it? Probably.
Up to them.
More times than not, they probably won't.
Yeah.
But that one person that does, that's a win.
Yeah.
That's a win because now that person is off doing whatever it is, either with their brand, their company, and now they can feed their family off of that.
Yeah.
Or their generations are farther ahead because of whatever knowledge you imparted to them.
Yeah.
So for me, it's always like, if I have it, I'm gonna share it. I don't want to. I think what held us back, especially in this valley, a lot was not only withholding, your network, but just your knowledge in general. Like if we could all be farther along out here with the wealth of creatives, we could be a lot farther along. We could be doing a lot more dope shit. But the fact of like, you know, just being secluded to yourself and like, nah, fuck that. I need to get ahead.
Yeah.
Crabs in a bucket.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you. My challenges are like, you know, like we talked about it before, like the industry, like when it comes to like, you know, well now it's like I come to the realization that the people that are in my industry are also from an older generation that have that mindset. Now the younger generation, which isn't my generation,
no,
have that microwave mentality, but at the same time, it's like we can find a good medium where it's like we can pinpoint, you know, like, because there's a lot of times where people walk in and I can tell like you're not serious, you know.
Yeah.
Like I'm sure you want to know
body language.
I'm sure you want to know how this all, you know, works and all that stuff, but this ain't gonna benefit you, you know. Like this you don't want this. And that's where like again my counseling stuff kicks in, and it's like, what do you really want, you know, like what do you really want to do? And that's where I'm able to decipher
what I really want. So that's just even his counseling meetings. He's like, "What do you want?" And just slowly moves to the boombox and pushes play.
Tell me what you want, what you really want.
I'll tell you what I want.
And if they sing it back to you, I'll tell them what I want.
He's like, you passed the test.
Then we know.
Pass the test.
Then we know.
Now I know you want this.
I've spoke with Arturo about like, cause about the idea of collaborating now that we have a brand, and collaborating not even with the brand but with the podcast. And it's like I only feel comfortable working with people that I feel comfortable with. Like I'm more than happy to give platforms to other creatives and stuff, but I also want to know, like, if I'm collaborating, it's my brand, I want to know everything about your brand. I want to make sure this makes sense. Like I don't want to, like, it just wouldn't make sense for lack of a good analogy, like a meat company collaborating with a vegan company. It's just two different ideologies, two different things. It doesn't even make sense.
Yeah, well, that's such an interesting thing to say, because like someone said, innovative opportunities come from breaking like
Breaking the mold?
breaking the mold in a sense, like because yeah, like okay, a good example, flower shop and nonfiction. I was like, what the heck,
How are we gonna
put flowers and a clothing shirt together? But I said, yeah, you know.
But it took you speaking with them and figuring it out.
Well, afterwards.
Yeah.
But at first it was like, yeah, we'll figure it out. You know, and then it's like, and that's where I was saying, like, it's an innovative opportunity. If you break tradition, you know, if you break your traditions, then you're gonna be offered like these new ideas, these new opportunities that will come up. But this is something new that I'm like learning now, where it's like the yes kind of comes in, where it's like, you know what, let's try it. You know, let's give it a try. Let's see how this comes out, and then if it doesn't work, then it doesn't work. But I know that's kind of different than what you were talking about, because
It was, but
because you mentioned like you know, podcasts and stuff like that. But when it comes to people, like specific like people, like someone comes up to me and then it's like, yeah, okay, there's just not a connection here. Like you don't want this. You don't